to my intellectual transformation where I unlearned and relearned to this famous quote about business and startups and business environment to think outside the box. And in my case, just from my particular case, I coming from the south of Mexico. So I've been taught to think outside the box as business as usual, chasing unicorns and so forth, and the fairy tale of Silicon Valley. But for me, it wasn't until I became a Chevening scholar and studied in the UK at UCL, the Faculty of Environment, at Bartlett Faculty of Environment, that I realized that I've been taught that quote in the wrong way. Because the truth is that thinking outside the box is no longer enough, it's futile, because the box itself is broken already. So it's built on outdated assumptions, as business as usual, that infinite economic growth is possible, that nature is just a resource, and that efficiency and alone and innovation alone can solve any complex problem in the world. So, but today, we know what is happening today. We are facing not just climate crisis, biodiversity crisis, deep inequality, geopolitical wars, and so forth. So thinking outside the box is futile. It's not longer enough. So it's dangerous actually. So I realized that we need now to question the box itself, dismantle it, and co-create something better and something different actually. So, and I realized that if I wanted to truly think outside the box first, I needed to learn, or I must learn to live, to learn how to live without the box, or how to live outside the box first, or even to consider how to live without the box and build a new one together. So this is where Chevening made a huge difference in my business career that led me to question the business as usual I was been doing in the past. And that led me to my second impact. That led me to build and let that box from scratch, a new one, to build and let that transformative change within my entrepreneurship. I am an entrepreneur and a researcher, and currently, well, I started in 2018, 6 or 7 years ago. I started Fempower Mexico, a social startup, or a social and edtech startup focused to educate women in entrepreneurship in technology. In the past, I was focusing only in entrepreneurial skills, like educating women for entrepreneurship skills. But now, during my time in the UK, and thanks to this global family networks of allies that Chevening allows to do that, um, I mean, in my case, I had this chance to step back, reflect, and redesign and evolve my entrepreneurship project, my social enterprise, and evolve from Fempower Mexico to Fempower Latin. But I just want to clarify, not just as a brand refresh, not just like a buzzword of brand refresh, not, but as a really transformation in its mission and its core and its methodology. So my entrepreneurial programs are now focused not only on entrepreneurs in developing entrepreneurial skills, but also in technological skills. So my programs are now centered on the rural women and youth girls to educate them in these skills, entrepreneurship and technology, so they can become the leaders, but the leaders who regenerate the economy, their communities, their planet, not focus on this kind of anthropocentric and technocentric approach that, and this addiction to growth to become the next unicorn, like the dominant Western idea of entrepreneurship. So that's a ripple effect in my first and second impact I've been experiencing as a Chevening scholar. This Chevening helped me to take this step, small steps, and turn Fempower into a regional platform. So in the past, I believed this kind of famous quote of Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu, it was a Chinese philosopher that has this kind of quote that give a person a fish and you feed them or feed them for a day. Teach a person to fish and you feed them for a lifetime. And for ages, we can use this quote for social innovation, social enterprise, or social impact. Um, but in this moment, I can really confirm that I'm not just training entrepreneurs, educators, and women. I'm not giving them fish to feed them for a day. I'm not just teaching them just how to fish to feed them for a lifetime. I'm transforming how they think and act to preserve the fish stock so we can feed generation because we won't have still fish to catch if we continue to grow in this direction of business as usual. Metaphorically and literally, if you can think about food security in 2050, metaphorically and literally. So I'm supporting a new generation of this kind of leaders who are not only rebuilding our ecosystems, what's been lost, but imagine what is possible. So if I can summarize, Chevening didn't help me to think outside the box. No, if you are thinking, applying to Chevening and thinking of putting that popular quote to think outside the box, no, don't put that. Delete it. It's an outdated quote. Chevening helped me and empowered me and equipped me and give me the tools to build my new box and new ones boxes around the world. So, and that led me to my third impact and my last impact that for me is in a personal level and in a professional level, both because not only shaped my leadership ambitions, but only my research and advocacy aspirations that I didn't realize I could do. I mean, in this moment, I was an entrepreneur, I was an entrepreneurship program lead, and I've been doing research my whole time for business, but I've never realized that I can be a scientific research in my field, in my field not only to consume knowledge, but also to be able to produce that knowledge for my country or for my region. So, and just to mention, in this moment, I didn't introduce myself. My background is in business and economics, and my master's degree, it was at UCL in prosperity, innovation, tech, knowledge and entrepreneurship. So, but at, during that time, I had two amazing professors, Dr. Onia and Dr. Mara, and Dr. Chris Harker, actually. They really challenged me to think why, just coming from the global south, why we are just regarding business, why do we keep in talking about sustainability within the business environment when there may soon be nothing left to sustain? I mean, in 2030 or 2050, why are we so focused on conserving biodiversity, redesigning conservation efforts, creating more buzzwords like conservation entrepreneurship, when so much of it is of our biodiversity and nature already gone, already critically damaged? So that really challenged me. And so if you read all the new scientific papers in the last 2 years, from 2024 to currently, you can notice that early evidence shows that biodiversity is not asking to be conserved. Nature is not asking to be protected, actually. It's calling to be regenerated and restored what we have been taken for ages due to colonialism, due to fossil fuel-based economy, and etc. So that's when I recognized it, that there is a biodiversity blind spot in entrepreneurship education, in entrepreneurial agency, and in entrepreneurial accountability. So that led me to begin my PhD journey last year, and this year, since January 2025, I started. I'm actually applying globally with my PhD research proposal, so wish me luck, finger crossed, emprendan todas las veladoras. So I'm just trying to focus to bridge these gaps that is really important to Mexico and for regionally across Latin, to bridge this gap between entrepreneurship and biodiversity conservation to regeneration. So I think after Chevening, I can say that uh, I don't just need better business. I don't want to do a better business. I think we need new paradigm shift. Ventures shouldn't just do less harm or mitigate. They should restore, regenerate, and renew, and that to start from inside. And I think thank you to Chevening and the UK experience is not just thinking about that change, but about to building it, field by field, step by step, small steps, one step at a time. I'm not rushing. So in a field, because I'm in a field I'm completely passionate about. So if you are thinking to apply to achieving, please apply to a master. That it's really your motto. It's really your you are if you it's because you are really completely passionate about.